Okay, so update number 2 here. Crazy story involving Mark Sanchez, the former quarterback, now retired and commentary person. Mark Sanchez is now facing felony charge of battery involving serious bodily injury. Former NFL quarterback and current Fox Sports color commentator Mark Sanchez, who was arrested for multiple misdemeanors following a physical altercation this weekend, is now facing a felony charge of battery involving serious bodily injury, prosecutors in Indianapolis announced. The more serious charge was added after investigators learned of the seriousness of the victim's injuries, Marion County prosecutor Ryan Mears said at a news conference on Monday. This was a situation that, so the former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez arrested after stabbing incident that sent him to the hospital. Now, apparently he's the one that's been stabbed, but after attacking an elderly man. This was a situation that did not need to occur, Mears said. The allegations involve a 38-year-old man becoming involved in an altercation with a 69-year-old man who sustained significant and very serious injuries over a dispute about parking, Mears said. Other charges are possible, Mears said, noting this is still the early stages of the investigation. Early Saturday morning, Sanchez allegedly approached a 69-year-old truck driver in a hotel loading dock and escalated a dispute about the victim's parked vehicle. According to police and prosecutors, Sanchez allegedly climbed into the truck, kept the driver from calling for help before a fight broke out, according to court records. After the altercation turned physical, it is alleged that pepper spray was dispensed and Sanchez suffered injuries consistent with being stabbed, prosecutors said. Sanchez was arrested at the hospital and initially charged with 3 misdemeanors: battery with injury, unlawful entry of a motor vehicle, and public intoxication. Police said he posted a $300 cash bond on Sunday and is due in court on Tuesday with the additional charge. The case will be transferred to a major felony court, Mears said. The sentence for the felony charge could be 1 to 6 years, Mears said. Sanchez was in Indianapolis as part of the broadcasting crew for Sunday's game between the Raiders and the Colts. He did not end up calling the game, obviously. He's been stabbed several times and slashed in his mouth as well for attacking this guy. Here's some of the breakdown on it.
Well, former NFL quarterback and Fox broadcast analyst Mark Sanchez is expected in court this week after a fight and stabbing in downtown that really made national news, and he was arrested yesterday in the hospital.
So now we're getting a closer look about the violent encounter that happened, and Anna Chalker joins us in studio after looking into court documents and learning more about the other man's condition after this fight. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. The 69-year-old's family tells us he is recovering and his injuries are so severe that he's having trouble talking now. And I want to warn you, the photos we're about to show you are graphic. We've blurred the man's face and are not identifying him at the family's request.
Maybe it's the 69-year-old.
But they say he has a deep 6-inch gash on his cheek that went into his tongue.
Story goes back and forth.
This fight took place early Saturday morning on Washington Street downtown, and it was all caught on security cameras around the area. According to those court documents, the victim says Sanchez approached him while he was in his truck working in a loading dock in the Westin Hotel. He says Sanchez told him he couldn't be in that area. Police say the victim didn't have his hearing aids in, so he really couldn't hear Sanchez, but says he could smell alcohol on him. Court documents say Sanchez got into that man's truck, and when the man tried to grab his phone, Sanchez stopped him. Police say the victim grabbed his pepper spray and then sprayed Sanchez in the face, but Sanchez wiped it off and approached him again. That's when the victim pulled out a knife and stabbed Sanchez 2 or 3 times. Sanchez ran off to a nearby bar and was helped there before EMS arrived. He was charged with battery resulting in injury, public intoxication, and unlawful entry of a motor vehicle. Now, Marion County prosecutor Ryan Mears responded to this saying, quote, "This incident should have never happened. What began as a disagreement between a 38-year-old former professional athlete and a 69-year-old man should have not escalated into violence or left anyone seriously injured." And all of these charges against Sanchez right now, they are misdemeanors. We're kind of waiting to see what will come out of this with this court hearing. But coming up, we do talk with a defense attorney who's not associated to this case on why he believes these misdemeanors could turn into felonies just with all this new evidence and those new photos that you just saw when they'll be presented in court.
And in the court documents that outline the details of what happened, have we heard from Sanchez about this?
We have not, because he's still in the hospital. So we're still kind of waiting to hear in that initial condition we heard. He was in critical condition, can't really kind of understand what he's talking about now, but that is the big thing. We still have not heard from Sanchez in any of this.
All right, thank you, Anne.
So, the other point I wanted to make about this, aside from this, is these people get elevated to having money and power, and then they're better than you. They're above you and I, right? So this 69-year-old man has got his truck. He's working on these backed up. He's delivering or picking up something from the loading dock. And these people are so entitled. And you see this Antifa in the streets as well. These people are so entitled that they go up to a working class guy and tell him, you're not allowed to be here. You're not allowed to park here. You have to leave right now. If you resist me, I'm going to get in your truck. I'm going to move your truck. This guy's just a regular old Joe doing his job. And these stuck up elitist pieces of shit, once they get, they're already have big heads over being an NFL star and playing in the big leagues, right? Then you put them up even higher because now they're a commentator. They're working with a whole team. They're being backed by a news organization, and they're getting the Ritz and the fancy hotels and everything. And now they think they're even bigger than they already were. And all of us that are around them and in the way. You're just annoying. Get away from them. Do what they say, right? And this is why I hate these people, right? When people say eat the rich, I don't have a problem with that statement because this is how they act. This is how they treat regular people. This guy was in his truck doing his job, and he was drunk off his ass. They said he was in an alleyway doing wind sprints and like dancing around and yelling at people and stuff. And then he goes after this guy who's just doing his job. This is what these rich elitist pieces of shit really are. And that's why they all need to go. None of them are role models. You shouldn't be looking up to any of them, and you shouldn't want to become any of them either. They're garbage human beings. But he got himself cut up by a 69-year-old man for his troubles. So there's that. He's going to have to live that down for the rest of his life. A 69-year-old kicked your ass and put you in critical condition in the hospital. Real tough guy, Marky. All right, that's the update. I have more coming as time permits. All right, thanks, everyone.